In the wake of recent Ebola and Marburg outbreaks across East and Central Africa, a new front in Africa's disease preparedness is being forged, this time inside the laboratories of the Uganda Virus Research Institute in Entebbe. For 5 days, laboratory experts from Uganda, Kenya, the Republic of Congo, Guinea, Burundi, Cameroon and Sierra Leone have undergone intensive training on filovirus diagnostics and immunoanalysis.
This training was particularly for Ebola and Marburg viruses that may occur around Africa or in the African continent. And these protocols aims to develop therapeutics, vaccines for these to control these outbreaks.
The training, organized by the World Health Organization and Uganda Virus Research Institute, covered biosafety management, PCR diagnostics, ELISA and ELISport assays, and data capture systems, all crucial for accurate detection and response to viral hemorrhagic fevers. Beyond the classroom, participants engaged in hands-on laboratory exercises and facility tours designed to standardize operating procedures and ensure high-quality sample testing across the continent. The initiative follows last year's WHO meeting in Kampala that developed the core protocols for vaccine and therapeutics trials.
We've been in a cycle of responding to outbreaks, and the WHO have made it very clear that their new strategy is to start preparing for the next outbreak instead of responding to it. And when I say prepare, I mean get ready with new drugs and medicines that don't exist at the moment in advance of an outbreak. And so in some cases, we might need to just test the immunogenicity of a candidate vaccine in the absence of an outbreak. And so that means that the areas that have constant little outbreaks will now have awareness of how to test vaccines in their area before an outbreak occurs. And that's about getting ahead of an outbreak and ahead of the curve. And these candidates definitely now have learnt new techniques, and they are now aware of the detailed immunology that's required to give developers assurance that their vaccine does work without the heat of an outbreak.
The initiative follows last year's WHO meeting in Kampala that developed the core protocols for vaccine and therapeutic trials. This training now takes those protocols from paper to practice.
To ensure that we have standard operating procedures that countries can use. In the past, there's not been a lot of uniformity in how we test, but WHO, working with WHO, we're coming up with core protocols in terms of studies, in terms of responses, in terms of diagnostics, and also measuring immune responses. So this has been part of that training.
By harmonizing diagnostic and immune analysis procedures, the UVRI and WHO collaboration is creating a network of skilled scientists ready to respond faster and more effectively to future Ebola or Marburg emergencies.
What we don't have now is the P4 facility. We cannot handle some of those live viruses. Yeah? We can inactivate and do diagnostics, but in future we want to have, labs are categorized P1, P2, P3. We have seen some of the P3 labs that we have. Now we have 2. We are constructing a 3rd. But it's very expensive. We are debating whether we should or not. It's quite expensive to set up, but also to maintain.
The lessons learned here will ripple across Africa's laboratories, strengthening not just capacity, but confidence in the continent's ability to fight future outbreaks from within. Mwesigye, NTV.